Hey, good morning, folks. AJ, the CEO here. We are back. We're heading back down to Kenbridge, Virginia for St. Matthew's. Based off of what y'all were saying, we're going to count this as another install, but this is us adding. Oh, I forgot I did an upgrade to one of my hard drives and I need to turn it off. I added a different 2 terabyte SSD to replace the mechanical one. But anyway, we're heading to St. Matthew's because we did some stuff down at Mount Bethel, which is around the corner from them. And they are hearing the praises of the internet that we installed for them because they're in the same area, have bad internet. They're not able to maintain a successful live stream. So we're installing a Starlink dish for them, but then we're also adding a sound bar, changing some new mics and doing a few other things. So that's what we're doing. But I got a stowaway with me today.
Hi.
Gotta take her to school. Move that out of the way, please. Are you using my book bag? Oh, that's your other book bag. And that's about it. So let me take her to school. Then we're going down to Kenbridge. And then we got to rush back here to get some other stuff done. And then we got some other stuff we're playing around with. Fixed and made a new system for my old system that died. So this is the one that I had upstairs for a while. But this is the Ryzen 9 that I had to end up buying a new motherboard for. So I got to throw that one away. That's going to be my Nginx OwnCast server that I had originally. But anyway, let me finish getting some stuff here, get on the road, and then take you up to see what we're doing up there at St. Matthew's. Alrighty, folks, we're here, and it looks like there's some people here as well, too. So let's get everything inside, and let's talk about what we're going to do here. All right, so depending on what direction I need to go, hopefully I can actually do it right there on this side. I did get an extended arm that will extend out further. Learn that from my past times of trying to install one of these. Because I definitely am not going to get up on the ladder and get up on the roof. So as long as I have a clear line of sight, hopefully that can stick out far enough and I can get the angle because everything is clear in whatever direction I need to go in. So, but let's get the easy stuff out of the way first. Do the sound bar, the new mics, and all that other stuff. So let's get this inside. Strange. I don't know where everybody is. Lights are off downstairs. But, oh well, I think what I'll do is, that was the conduit, and I still had other pieces left over because we had put everything here. So I might just squeeze over there and put the rest of that up there. But first thing we're going to do is add some new mics. The wireless mics, that's going to be very straightforward. I would love to have put them in the front with the snake, but there's no space on the snake up there. We had an S16, so 7 of the mics are for the drums, and then all the other stuff, because that's originally where the sound system was. And I think I drilled the cable down on the floor. It's been a minute. I can't remember how we did this, but we have everything hooked up here. Now, I don't know which mics they want to get rid of. Actually, hey, somebody just came in. So the idea, worst case scenario, what I'm thinking is I might need to go get an antenna and then run the antennas through the wall so that the antennas will sit out here so it will give a better signal. And I really don't even need to get anything. We can make a mount for the antennas to go on the outside. And those are BNCs, so I can make cables to maybe run them down this way and stuff like that. And then at the same time, I'm going to run the other conduit on that wall to finish that up. Because we're going to drill, because there's the hole up here. I may actually just drill into the wall for the Starlink to bring the cable here and run it down here, and that new router will live over here somewhere, I believe. But let's get the easy stuff out the way. All right, so like I said, we got the mics hooked up. If we have any issues, I'll extend the cables so that the antennas will go on the outside. We got them labeled here. Now, what I'm getting ready to do is set up the Starlink. Now, personally, I'm making a suggestion and we're waiting to get the call whether we're going to do this or not. The easier thing would be is to come up here, punch a hole out there, mount the Starlink dish out there, and then run the cables down the hole and connect it to the connections we already have with the UDN Pro. The original router is in the pastor's office. And again, if the hub was back here, this is just my thought, but we're going to make sure that we get the right decision on what we're going to do. What I'm going to do now is just set the dish outside so that I can get the alignment of where it needs to go and what position, get some other stuff here. And then once we get that, get it activated, and then I'll come back on Thursday to mount it outside and get up here and drill a hole and make a hole or wherever direction, because either it's going to be a hole here or we got to do it down there, make a hole in the same kind of location and put it on the end. But thankfully, we already ran a cable that comes back here with the existing internet, so I can just plug into that and I don't have to run new cables. Or again, I would prefer to just do it here and I just shorten the cable and just connect it to whichever one. But let's go ahead and set the dish outside, and then we're going to go downstairs and do the soundbar, and then we're done until Thursday. All right, so we got this set up with a temporary connection, and we are going to mount it up here when I come back. But let's do a speed test, and I'm gonna plug in the old just to do a comparison. So right now we're getting around 280, 300 down. And again, the upload is what's important. Now, I've tested this about 4 times, and in the amount of time of being here, the speed has like quadrupled. So last time when I tested this, when I first set it up, it was at 3, then it was at 5, then it was at 9, and now we're at 20. And then that's with the Starlink. And like I said, I'm going to disconnect and go back to the original connection just so you can see what the speed was. And this jack that I have, that's what we're going to repurpose, and the connection we run is going to go here, and we'll put the router down there somewhere. So give that a second to acclimate, and we'll keep that there. Let's open up another one so we can do a comparison. All right, so as you can see, now we're on bright speed. Now let's test this one. So we're at about 40 down. So we're about 8 times faster for our download speed. And then our upload is like 3. So we're about 8 times faster on both sides. So significantly better. Now we just got to be mindful of restricting so that we don't have people like blowing out the internet and using it up like crazy. But now all we got to do, I'm going to be back on Thursday, but let's hook up this sound bar and then we're done for today. All right, and we're downstairs with the 85 that we hung down here. And I guess technically I could just set this on the table because it's not going to be even based off of where everything is. Maybe move all of that onto that shelf and put the sound bar here. Because I mean, we don't have to make this more complicated than it needs to be. So let's do that, and then we'll be back Thursday. Hey, good morning, folks. AJ, it's day 2 of us being down here, and we got my ladder here this time. This is unlevel, so I had to put some concrete there to keep it in place. And surprisingly, they busted up the I guess the entrance here, the concrete slab right here. So because of how I'm going to do this, I'm actually going to mount the Starlink right here. I'm going to run the cable down behind this spout and then drill in the wall. So instead of going through the ceiling, I'm just going to come in at the floor and run the cable that way. But let me get inside and see what's going on. And I'm probably going to drill in the opposite direction just to make sure I am in a good location, and then we can widen that hole, and then we just mount everything outside, get everything connected, and then we're done. So the fact that this is the corner, we're going to drill in somewhere right there, and then we'll just run this across. We do have a piece of conduit here, so we'll stick that against the wall. Now I'll run the cable into here where we're going to put the Starlink router, and put that up under there. I will move this and put some extra conduit up there to cover the rest of that up while I'm here, since I'm not going in the ceiling now. But let me get my drill in here. We're going to make the hole and bust that way, then widen it, and then run the cable, seal it up with grommet and silicone, and then come back and we're done. Alrighty. Let's see. Yay. We're right there. So lined up good. We're outside of where the railing's going to go. Like I said, we're going to run the cable down here and then runs into there, and we're probably going to have to widen that just a little bit, but we're in a good placement. We'll tack everything down. I'll probably run the cable down here, tack it into that brick, then come up and then come in there so that the cable is anchored in. Alrighty, so we ran a line there. So now what we're going to do is secure the top line of this mount. All right, let's be a little careful here. Gonna try and get up here and anchor this mount. And I really wish I put it lower, but I want to get it high enough to get out of everybody's way. So we're gonna anchor this in right here. And I made my level line here. Yay. And I guess I should have brought my level. This thing is, there we go. Had my drill wedged in there, so I couldn't even pick that out. Now we need to put another one in there and then put the other ones, and we're good to go. And let me stop this recording because I want to be safe. All right, and we got the hole a little bit wider, so we should have more than enough room to run the cable through. We got the arm here. We need to tighten this down. So if we can tighten that down once everything is in place. And I really want to put the Starlink on here, make this a little bit easier to do than trying to put this on here once I get up on the ladder. So let's run the cable and let's do all that fun stuff. I just realized I should have did this the other way. And I think I will. Hey. Oh, okay. How you doing? That was some folks from Mount Bethel. All right, so we're gonna hook this up. And we'll connect the dish. And then we'll hang everything. And then we'll tighten down everything. All right, that's good. Need to find out what that is. Now all of this cable loops through this mount there. We run it through the one up there. Then we run that through the hole that we made into the wall. And then we should be good to go. Then we got to tighten it and align it, all that other fun stuff. But that should be relatively easy compared to everything else. And do I have enough cable to run this on the ground? Okay. Gonna run that through this mount. And as long as we're able to do that, we should be good to go. All right. So we got it through there. And then once we put the extra, that's when we're mounted. And that part is done. So I'm definitely going to put this down so that I can be a little bit more stable with doing all of this.
Hey, Dad. I got that. There's yeah, man. They had one in the living room up here. They had five in the living room down in the middle.
Oh, why did I do that?
Morning. Morning. Huh? I'm about to leave out. I reckon. Have you been hot, y'all? Yep. Yeah, that looks kind of hot.
Hey, you might be base transport bottom side, I got one more run.
Right. Sorry. Boy, what you know? You got nothing to grab, she starts slipping in. Nothing.
Alrighty, so we got a bunch of extra, but I'm leaving that on the ground since they're redoing the brick. And last thing I want is for the cable to actually accidentally get damaged. Then we'd have to do all of that all over again. So making a new shorter connection to connect the Starlink into the UDM Pro. And so we use the existing connection that we had here in the Keystone. Make it look all nice and pretty. Again, we got the Starlink right there. We connect that up. And we just got to do a little alignment. Hopefully we don't have to do much. But then that's it. And then we're done. And I'm going to have to come back because the cable cover to replace at the pulpit is actually not going to be here till today. So Worst case, I'll come back down here on Sunday, and before they get started, put the cable cover in the front, or maybe wait until service is over and then tack down the cables on the outside and do all that stuff. And again, I was going to try and come in here and put the rest of this conduit up here. Not going to do that today because I'd have to remove all of this stuff. And since I didn't go in the ceiling, this actually made it easier than doing that. But I would have to, thankfully, it's not that much. I would have to disconnect from here. So I need to disconnect all of this, move this table out the way so I can get up there, and then we do that. But need to verify internet. It's saying I don't have a connection unless I pull something loose from here. So it says no internet access, but we are getting the IP address. So we need to test some more with the Starlink. I mean, the UDM Pro is on. Oh, there it goes. I just got to give it enough time, so it is now connected. So let's test this again. We'll go here to, I'm trying to set this up so you can actually see. I was using my neck brace in my camera. Let's go to speed test. So again, it's reading Starlink. Let's go ahead and run our speed test. Last time we were getting 300, so I think it's going to get faster over time. And then what is our upload speed? Significantly better than the 2 to 3 that they were getting. So maybe having the A10 run on low or medium. Yeah, so the stream was already on low there, so we can probably bump it to medium and it will be good. But we got good from there. So all I got to do is put the cap on here, and then the rest of the stuff, like I said, I have to come back and do, because they're working on the brick. On that slab there, I really need to get in that location, but not that pressing. We do have it up. Everything has been disconnected. I need to unplug the stuff from the pastor's office, and we are done for right now. Let me show you the other stuff here. So pretty much, like I was saying, originally we wanted to open up a hole in the pulpit and run these cables here to get, so we wouldn't have to run these cables into where the S16 is, and it looks like this was left on the entire time. But anyway, we wanted to actually open up a hole here and run the cables up under here, but we weren't able to do that. So I have a PVC floor cover that's going to be a lot sturdier. We're going to put this here. Worst case scenario, you could put a carpet over here for right now, but we're going to pull this back, put all the cables inside of here so it'll run straight from here. And because this was sticking out, people were hitting the off button on the amps and all this other stuff. So we can push it back a little bit more. And this was set inside of here to avoid anybody from touching it. And then what I'll do is actually flip it around so that you can't even physically touch the amp button. The only thing that you can get to is the power button right there. But we'll come back and do that on Sunday, and I think we'll be able to remove a bunch of these cables. Now, if I had this to do again, because honestly, well, we have all the connections to their mics. Because their old sound system was right here. And that's the reason why we put the S16 here, and we connected it back there through a cable, and we did run that down into the floor, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we ran it right there, that white cable. That's what we ran into the floor. So if there was a way that we could open this up, like put a doorway right here under the pulpit and climb up under here, we could do that, but that's not what we had. And then I think that second PVC I'll put right here. So that, I mean, this is gaff tape and it shouldn't leave that much of adhesive, but it's leaving a lot on the cable. So we're going to clean the cables up and do that. But the main job of adding the new mics, the internet, all that stuff is done. All we got to do now is, like I said, do the last part. I'm going to remove the DSL router here because that is no longer being used. Completely disconnect that. And this is the connection that was going all the way back to the UDM Pro originally. So we don't need that. And technically we can completely do away with this one. So I'll just unplug it, but they'll know that they don't need this, and there's no phone tied to this at all. It's just internet. Now, one other thing that I did, since we already had this cable here, and it looks like the computer is connected to this printer behind me, and it's running real tight on that cable, we just reversed this cable and made it connect to the UDM Pro. So this is a network jack now, and I just used the leftover Ethernet cable that I had to connect the printer to the network. So I am in the process of downloading the driver so that the computer can pick up the printer over the network, and we can remove this short Ethernet cable that's running real tight around Pastor's desk and chair, and then we can remove that completely. All right, so outside of that conduit that's going to be here that I'll come back and do on Sunday or whatever day is available, and tack down the stuff once they finish with the stoop out here in the front, I would say we're pretty much done. Significantly faster internet. They'll be able to live stream outside of Zoom, because I think that's all they were doing. Or I think somebody tried to set it up for them to stream out to Vimeo and it just wasn't working for them. But they should be more than capable today now. And like I said, we just got little odds and ends, mainly just because stuff didn't come in. And I think that's about it. So link is going to be down below. And again, I understand some of y'all feel some type of way about Starlink, which I completely understand, contrary to popular belief. But that is the only option that some places, some people in some locations have for reliable, fast internet. So as of right now, I don't like the Romans, but we use the roads to travel, if you understand, if you can read between the lines. So that's what we're doing. But link down below if you're interested in getting a month free with my referral code if you want to use Starlink. And if this is the only option that you got in some of your areas, hey, try it out. And again, a good thing is it's no yearly plan. It's just a month to month. So you can cancel it anytime, and you own the equipment. So you can always sell it if you are not happy with it. But the fact that they've seen the churches I've done here in the area and they've seen the significant difference in their internet options, this is why they chose to go with it. So like I said, link down below to everything that we did. And if you ever need any help, you can go to ajhomes.com/consultations. We do Zoom, phone call, on-sites, we travel, all that stuff to help modernize your media ministry. So that's about it. So if you like this type of content, appreciate a like, consider subscribing, hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ. Catch you on the next video. Later.